Kind of rehash a little bit of the football complex project. I mean, I know this is something that Kirby has been wanting for a long time and finally able to make it happen. What's it going to mean for the football program to have it in place?
It means a ton. As I reflect on my 15 plus years at Georgia and thinking about the progress we've made in that complex, whether we're talking about the indoor facility, the Buttsmere expansion, this is really a key, you'll never say final, but a key final piece in terms of getting it right with the practice fields. We can have key functional, efficient practices. The footprint will be dynamic. Adding the parking, which we know is always an issue, to have all that under one footprint with what we've already done, I think is going to really be a nice piece added to. And I think as we look at these decisions, we're trying to make decisions that are good for 30 years. We don't want to ever make decisions something that's just going to impact 5. I want the next AD who's sitting here to be going, man, y'all did it right and y'all set us up for success.
This is the first time that we've talked to you guys since the SEC moved to 9 conference games. Just what does that mean for Georgia going forward?
Yeah, it means there's so many different variables you look at. When you start from the fan perspective and you think about a ninth SEC opponent and what it allows us to do in terms of schedule variability, now that you can guarantee that we're going to play every SEC opponent at least once every 2 years. You're going to get them at home and on the road once every 4 years. I think that's good. When you talk to fans and the desire for higher quality opponents and then knowing the rotation and being able to plan the next 4 years, you'll be able to come out and plan your next 4 years and say, I'm going to go to this trip and this year. I think that's good for fans. I think one of the big focuses for our conference was increased faith in the determination of the college football playoff, and I think from what's been shared with us in terms of adding the metric of quality wins and quality losses, I think that's going to go a long way, and I think that's very important. But I also got to give kudos to Chris Smart. We've already been there. We've already been playing, upwards of 9 or 10 or so, or 11 Power 5 opponents in certain years. So it's something we've embraced, and I think it's going to be good for the league.
What does it mean for 2026 and beyond? And like in 2026, you guys have Georgia Tech and Louisville that's are currently on your schedule. Will you play 11 Power 4 opponents?
Yeah, we're working through that right now, and a lot of that's going to be determined as we learn when and where our schedule is going to be the next few weeks. But that's something we're attacking right now to see what our options are going to be 26. So we're going to take it 1 year at a time right now. The first focus is going to be on 26 and then 27 and moving on before. So still a lot of work to be done, and I work closely with Coach Smart and Mark Robinson and the league to kind of figure out what is that going to mean for our schedule moving forward.
Have you had conversations with some of your 2026 non-conference opponents?
We've had some initial conversations, and we're kind of seeing what's possible right now.
You mentioned schedule strength metric, obviously. Where do you think this is going? I mean, obviously, December 1st is the deadline. I think this, may just end up planning on a future,
You mean going to
long-term
16?
Yeah, or just staying at 12 for 2026 while y'all resolve everything else?
That's being debated at the commissioner level right now. To predict that would be too difficult right now to see if it's going to stay at 12 or it'll expand. I think so much of our initial focus right now has been on the 9 game and some other issues that I really haven't put a ton of focus on that right now.
There's certainly a lot of pressure to expand, but we'll see what happens.
Are you fine with just staying at 12 for even for one more year, or are you attracted to a lot of these ideas that are being thrown out, particularly?
I don't want the playoffs to get too large to where it doesn't matter about the regular season. I think it's important now that these are all big games when we play some of the opponents on our schedule. But I don't have any really strong opinions about it going from 12 to 16. I don't think that's going to fundamentally change anything.
Kirby made some comments after the game and then again on Tuesday about fan turnout and what that sort of looks like. Were you guys satisfied with what that looked like at the stadium this past Saturday against Marshall?
Yeah, we always want a full house. We understand sometimes the heat can play a factor, different weather things, and life happens. But it's incumbent upon us to put the best product from not only the players, but how we operate as a staff, from ingress, egress, parking, traffic, safety, and fireworks in show game. So we have always got to aim to do the best for that. But it's a 7 home game season, and it's a long season, and we do understand the impacts of that. But I always take that as pressure I put up on myself, and what we can do better to make sure we fill the stadium to give the coaches and players the best atmosphere possible.
Jere, when you talk about postseason, are you fine with men's basketball staying at 68 for their postseason?
68's a lot of teams, so I think it's worked great. Now, is it going to change the world if it goes to 72? Probably not. So I don't have a strong opinion on it.
You mentioned in there on the 5-year 5-for-5 thing and the redshirt rule about wanting some clarity because it's coming up in a few weeks, the 4-game threshold. And I hadn't thought about that. What are the chances that it could move that quickly?
I don't foresee it moving that quickly. There's a lot of lawsuits out there right now that's probably making it a little more complicated to get. But my ask right now is just give us clarity that it's going to be an agenda item or not. Because if we really take it off the table, then we can at least tell those individuals that there won't be. But the unknown creates the fear and the rumors, and that's where if we knew it was or was not on the table, we could at least address that. Because right now we don't even know if it's going to be on the table.
So on the table, though, doesn't mean it will be done. So there will still be.
Well, exactly. Is it
people
on the
still won't know
is
if
it
they
on
play
the
a
table?
5th game whether they're.
If it is on the table, when does it start and stop? What class? Would it be would it not impact until the 2026 roster or this? That's what we've got to have clarity on that, because across the country there's going to be a ton of programs with individuals who are playing 4 games. You're going to have to think.
So you're talking, you want some clarity on whether it'll be considered.
I would
for
prefer some clarity as soon as possible.
not the full time. We are changing the rule completely, but the possible.
Let's just start
exemption.
with, is it going to be on the table for discussion or not? Let's just start there.
Is the clarity coming from the NCAA or somewhere
This
else?
is an NCAA issue.
And that was one of my frustrations when I was on the NCAA board. It takes too long to get to a decision. So we need to get a decision made in this area quickly, one way or the other.
Like in the next 3 weeks, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if they can do that, but they can certainly at least indicate when they're going to make the decision, what the schedule is on that decision.
Give us a timeline. Yeah. But I am encouraged with the new governance structure. I just had my first football oversight meeting yesterday, and I'm encouraged at the way I do believe we have great opportunities to be able to enact and move faster in this new governance. So I'm encouraged.
And it does seem that there's more, like, people are okay with going to a 5-for-5 rule. And do you all sense that
there always is,
acceptance
but there's always, it's the unintended consequences that brings up many things that you got to dive into and have and make sure that they've been vetted out. Whether we're talking about military servers, we're talking about mission trips, things like that have got to be addressed on the forefront. We don't need to make a decision without that being explicitly discussed, because then we're going to have a lot of confusion on the back end. So
You have to think about what's going to be the nature of the next lawsuit, because somebody will sue over whatever the new rule is. So if we thought through those possible actions.
The NCAA's been winning a lot of these.
Yeah,
I think was said
yeah,
in there.
they have.
It seems like the courts are almost settling at like 5 years. Is
We hope so.
fine.
time for 1 or 2 more questions.
Josh, with Stegman and the video board, is that no longer in the plans?
No, it's still in the queue. As we've embraced this NIL world, we've had to be more strategic on our facility plans. And once we get the football project done, a lot of our bigger projects, we've been blessed to be able to knock off the last few years. We're talking about tennis indoor, Butts-Mehre expansion, baseball, softball. So that's still on the wish list. That's still on the plan, along with some seating opportunities at Stegman. And then we started the master plan at Sanford as well. So facilities are not stopping, but as you can tell by the last few years of meetings, we've gone from 3 or 4 projects in the queue to 1. So Tanner and Matt can take a little bit of a deep breath now.
Tennessee recently switched from Adidas to Nike, and it was announced today that Penn State is doing the same. What is Georgia's satisfaction level with this current Nike?
We have a great partner in Nike, great working relationship, and I don't anticipate any change in that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.